Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Late Bloomer podcast with your host, Asia. Today, I have my computer here because I have some notes for us, okay? Lots and lots of notes. So I want to talk about, it's kind of a continuation from last week's episode, which was how can you love yourself if you don't really know who you are? Maybe self-discovery is actually more important than self-love. And that it kind of says what it is right there in the title, that I think finding yourself, figuring out who you are, especially now in our 30s, figuring out who we really want to be, and what's important to us, and taking the steps to become that person is the act of self-love, and not just doing arbitrary things like, going out to eat or buying yourself a new outfit or that kind of stuff, because I think that those are very surface level fixes to a much deeper problem. Not saying that those things aren't important, but I don't think they're the most important. I think there's a deeper way to actively love on yourself. So this week, I'm going to piggyback off of that topic with something even more important and deep, which is don't be yourself, build yourself. Okay, hear me out. I think that when people say to just be yourself, I don't think that really tells the full story, because I think that kind of limits us. And I don't think that that's accurate or true. That kind of lends to the idea that we are stagnant beings. Like our personalities are popped out, and who we are and what our futures are going to be are just laid out in the fabric of our existence, and it's fixed. That's the word I'm looking for. It kind of makes it seem as if who you are is fixed, and we know that that's not true. We know that our personalities are evolving, and we're changing based on different experiences that happen to us, based on different things that we discover about ourselves, self-discovery, based on the people who are around us. I know that when I was in college, I thought that I was one thing. I thought that I was aimless, and I was directionless, and I felt like I didn't have my own personality. I felt like I didn't know where I wanted to go. I felt lost, and I just felt damn, that's just the personality I was given, just an aimless bitch. That's just who I am. And that's not true. That's not true. That's just how I was feeling at the time. But I've evolved, I've changed, I've figured out who I was. And also I have perspective about what was going on with me at that time. Who says that you have to figure out who you are or what you want to do when you're 21? Who says that? That's unnecessary pressure that brings on depression, in my opinion. So anyway, I've derailed myself. I think that it's important to not put pressure on yourself to be yourself, because I don't really even know what that means, because we're always changing, and I think that it takes away your choice in the matter. Do you know what I mean? It takes away intentionality out of it, because I think you can build yourself. I think you can create who you want to be. I think you can ask yourself certain questions, imagine a future you, and put actions towards becoming that future you. And in that, you're becoming yourself. I think that you can imagine who you are, who your wildest dream of who you could be is already that person in the future. She or he already exists, or they already exists. And all you're doing now is acting as all of the decisions you make, all of the actions you do are all based on that future you, not based on the preconceived notions that you have of yourself in the past. You know what I mean? Because if I'm being myself, I have some old nasty habits that I should not be like, okay, that lets you say, like, you know, when people are like, I'm just an angry person, like, I'm just an angry person, just a mistake, that's just how I am. Change it. Like, maybe you shouldn't beat it, maybe you need to change and be something else. I'm just a lazy person, I just can't bother sometimes. Change it. I just hate social situations, I hate going out, I just hate people, they annoy me. Change that. Like, all of those things, that's not who you are. That's the habits that you've cultivated over time. But you can change that. You can intentionally decide who you want to be, what you want your attributes to be, and like make decisions based on who that person is that you want to build. So I don't think being yourself is very helpful. I think becoming yourself is more helpful. So I'm going to go to my notes right now because I don't want to miss certain things. So, yeah, this is what we're going to do. This is the blueprint, right? We're going to decide, we're going to ask ourselves a few questions. First, we're going to ask ourselves, what qualities do I admire? What do I like? For me, I like bitches that are strong and that are confident and that are assertive. I like people who know, excuse my use of the word bitches, whatever. I like people who are action oriented. Like, they have an idea and they act on it. They don't think about it. They don't care what people think. They don't go ask their parents, hey, do you think this is a good idea? No, I just do it because I'm confident and I know that my ideas are good. Whether they're good or not, who cares? I like people who start before they're ready. I think that's an amazing quality because you know that you trust in your future self. You know that you'll figure it out. I like that. I like people that are not just nice but kind. Do you know what I mean? Not just like polite and nicey because you want people to like you. I like people who don't give a fuck if people like them or not. I want to be somebody like that. I like people who are kind instead of nice. That maybe they're not changing and molding and becoming other people in conversations just to get you to like them. Maybe they're being who they are, knowing that not everybody is going to like them, and that's fine, but they're genuinely incredibly good-hearted and kind people. Yeah, that's what I like. Those are the qualities that I admire. So I don't have all those qualities right now. I'm not the most confident. I'm not the most action oriented. I'm not the most blah 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 in this moment. But I want my future self to be that. So I'm gonna do things now that showcase those qualities for the future. And then eventually I will become that person. You see what I'm saying? You get it? You know what I mean? Okay, what's the next? What skills do I want to develop? Action orientation. Action orientedness. Action mindedness. That sounds good. Action mindedness. That's one of the skills that I'd like to develop. I'd like to develop the skill of more detail oriented, like sometimes I get bored at the details, and I think that excellence is in the details, and I need to be a little bit more patient and have more grit to stick through things that are a bit hard or a bit boring. Let's see, what else? What kind of person do I want to be known as? I want people to see me as somebody who is authentic, who I'm like truly myself, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to come up here on a podcast and just talk about my thoughts all day. I want people to think that I'm genuine and authentic and interesting and insightful. What else? What habits would make you better? I think getting up at 6:30 in the morning. I think my future self would get up early. And I think my future self would exercise and go on a run and to get to be healthy and get her mind right. And I think my future self would have a healthy breakfast. And I think she would just prioritize herself and her businesses first before anything else or anyone else. so that she's good, so that she can like give to other people, because my cup needs to be full. Okay, so now we've answered these questions. Now we're going to act like those things. As I said before, we're gonna put in the actions as if we have those qualities, and then that will in turn change you into the person that you really, really want to be. Another thing is cultivating an environment where your new you or your future you or your like dream you can like thrive. Because if you're still hanging out with people who are going out every night and getting drunk and spending unnecessary money on drinks, that's going to make it difficult for you to thrive. So you have to kind of like maybe make new friends. I don't know. That sounds bad, but you know what I mean. No, I mean that. Maybe you have to make new friends that are in line with your goals. That's pretty much it. I just want to say growth is an active choice. It's not a passive state. It's never too late to become who you want to be, and your past doesn't define your future. So I hope you're heeding my advice and absorbing my words. And thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.